everybody, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
Hey, the wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, the vet, Jamie Williams. And we are live on Hummy Food YouTube channel and, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. Vet, what a big week it's been in professional wrestling. I mean, that's an understatement.
Yeah, not in AEW so much, but everywhere else.
Well, I will say this about AEW. I actually didn't mind Dynamite. Collision, and we'll get to that. But Dynamite was actually half decent. But I do want to ask you, funny enough, Vet. I know I watched the Next Level podcast. Mm-hmm. I heard your thoughts, but I felt like, you held back a little bit, Vet. So I'm going to ask you, for your opinion again, because I want to hear it. Did you truly love the show? Because I enjoyed the show. I know, I'm sure you did say you listened to I Like It Raw, and it might have sounded like...
Yeah, you're talking about Raw on Netflix, right?
Raw, yes.
Let the people know what you're talking about. Okay.
Raw on Netflix, specifically. I don't know why I didn't say that, but yeah, Raw on Netflix. And look, I know it sounded like I was absolutely bashing the show. I truly wasn't. I actually enjoyed the show, but I was calling out a lot of the bullshit that actually happened on the show.
Right.
And I feel like The Rock just shat on everything with what he did. Are you cool with that deep down? Or because I feel like this guy has now become, and I'm a Rock guy, but he comes across as an arrogant marktard at this point. And to be fair, Triple H now is also a big marktard for himself. So I will leave it to you.
Well,
am I wrong in saying that?
Well, first off, I want to address the comment you said about holding back. It's not so much that I was holding back. It's just that I really don't have a strong opinion on it. I know I'm the opinion haver, not necessarily always the opinion giver unless asked, right? But really, to me, overall, the show on Raw was nothing different than what I expected. So I know a lot of people probably got caught up in the hype, and when that happens, you can really have your expectations shattered because you're allowing yourself to step out of the real world and get caught up in the frenzy of like them telling you, oh, this is a new era. Like it's not just WWE. It's like all the fans. And then even people that maybe you didn't watch it live, maybe you watch it later, and then you heard people hype it up after they watch it saying how great it was. Yeah. And these things happen, but you have to be, I want all of you guys listening. I want you all to be your own people, to make up your own minds, and you can take what we say and let it be food for thought. But at the end of the day, let it be food for thought. Don't let it be your thought. So in general, I just didn't care about the show. It was another Monday to me. They did some different things. They did a lot of the same things. But I will say this is the important thing to talk about, because like you said, I already talked about it a little bit on Next Level. Everybody's probably watch it that's going to watch it at this point. You don't need me to direct you to anywhere, but I was never more proud of Jimmy T than when he stood up for the kayfabe thing. Because everything you were saying was like, good, I'm glad Jimmy's saying it, so I don't have to say it. Because this is what I've been telling you guys. This is like, it's 2025 now. This would mark my 4th anniversary with HMG. And this is everything I've been saying for the past 4 years. I've been telling you guys these things. And one of the things I always say is, you don't use insider terms on television. You just don't do it. Now, is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. Have they done it before? Yes. Do they do worse things? Yes. The scrum is worse than any just saying baby faces and heels on Monday Night Raw, but doing the scrum in general is worse. There's a lot of things they do worse, but you still shouldn't do it. You know, is it the end of the world? No. If you're a kid and you play with matches and you burn the house down, is it the end of the world? No. You eventually get another house, but you still don't want to burn the house down.
Right.
You know, like there's lots of things that don't end the world, but still aren't good ideas. And you don't do these. And you were making these points, and Ray and everybody else was like, whatever. We all know it, Jimmy. But your point was, everybody isn't like us. We are too far inside. Of course, we know the terms and it doesn't bother us. It's not about us. It's about the other people that are. I know people that love the WWE and watch it all the time. They don't know those terms. They just accept the show on its own terms. And it's just, even if they just hear it and it goes in one ear and out the other, it's not a good look. I never agree with that. I don't agree with Matt Stryker and his commentary sometimes when he gets too casual, you know, or like when Jim Ross just gives up now, you know, on his matches. Sometimes he'll just say stuff like, I'm just never a fan of doing it on the show. Anything that's extra, you do this on your own social media accounts. You know, you want to, you know, even if the Wyatt Six wants to take pictures at, you know, a restaurant or whatever, but as long as it's not on the show, don't say it on the show. That's the main thing. But I regardless, you all probably know my feelings about that, but I just want to say, you know, I just want to put over Jimmy T. Put over. That's a wrestling term. Oh my God, we're inside. Yeah. So I want to put over Jimmy T for standing up for it, you know, and you know, making those points.
That means the world to me, dude, for real. So I appreciate that. And thank you. And the only reason why I brought that up, because like you said, it was supposed to be to a new audience, right? To a casual audience and blah, blah, blah. So what was the point of him, I'm talking about Triple H, saying all those stupid insider terms when they don't have a clue what the fuck that means? You know what I mean? So why even go there? That was my real issue about it. But they went there, they did what they did. And like it is what it is. But
yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It'd be instantly forgotten and moved on for the next week and everything. But
absolutely,
the point is still, like, you know, I've always said this. So I mean, that's how I feel about it. But you know, what do we even have left to protect anymore? You know, we're getting so far away from everything. Pretty soon, it's going to be like, what are we doing here? So I don't know.
It's officially completely done. I know it's been dead for a long time, kayfabe, but now it's really like done. But anyway, I appreciate you also giving your points, because I just wanted to, you know, get a more in-depth thing about it, and you said everything perfectly. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, my main takeaway was that, you know, I don't like the sponsorships on the actual mat. I've said that.
How bad
I said that before.
Look,
we talked about that when the Prime logo thing happened, and you know, I'm not a fan of that, especially because there's so many other places all around they can put the sponsorships. It's not like there's nowhere for sponsorships anywhere on the show. They got so much graphics and boards and commercial breaks and like all this stuff. It's like, do we need it on the mat too? Like, is anybody staring at that mat being like, oh my God, I got to subscribe to Netflix? Well, how else are you seeing it then?
I know. What was the point of that?
What the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, so there's that, and then the only other thing I hear about was like all week I've been hearing people talk about there was like 4 matches on the show, and it's just another one of those things where people will be like, you know, I'll hear countless times from different people, nobody cares about wrestling matches, the matches are too long, this and that and the other thing, like nobody cares about wrestling, everything's about, you know, whatever. And then when there's only 4 matches, people are like, where's all the matches, where's the wrestling, you know, like nobody's ever happy with anything, it seems like. So but I'll tell you what's good about less matches, is people don't really get, because in societies now, because of advancements in technology, everything is so instant, you know?
Right.
People aren't used to having to wait for shit. So the anticipation building, you know, there would be a lot of times, I remember watching like some of those WrestleManias that would go on for like 4 or 5 hours, and there would be like a title change or something, and like somebody will be like celebrating with their title change, and they'll be like, well, anyways, on to the next thing. And there's everything is just rushed through so much because they have so much crap to get through, and nothing felt like important. It just felt like, okay, so Bailey won the title next, like it just didn't, nothing mattered. So with the waiting periods in between the matches and everything else, it kind of like gets you like, you don't even realize it's happening to you. Your impatience is really the anticipation of like, when's the next thing? So the next thing means more because you were waiting for it. So even something like a random Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre seemed like a bigger deal because you had to wait for all the other stuff. You had to wait through the long entrances. You had to do all this. And then it's like, finally, these guys are fighting, so that actually helps rather than just rushing everything. But a lot of people are just going to have to get retrained on that because it's always like that, especially in things like UFC. My God, the entrances at UFC, you think the WWE entrances are bad? Have you ever watched a UFC pay-per-view? For nobody's like on the preliminary cards and stuff is like a 20-minute entrance for like two guys. And
you're right.
And Bruce Buffer announcing it like fighting out of it. It's like there's so much like nothing. So it's just the audience got to get retrained on this stuff. And I do think it's preferable to just speeding through everything. But that's other than that, I have no more comments on Raw.
By the way, I just want to say one more thing about that. How dumb was WWE? Like, bringing out Hulk Hogan in the most, liberal of liberal states. And I'm talking about California, with the heat that Hogan got. But, surely they would have known that, man. I mean, come on. Even I knew that. I knew that from Australia. And I was even saying it to D while watching it. He's going to get booed in LA 100%. That's exactly what happened.
I don't think anybody knew it would be that bad.
Yeah, I guess.
There's no way they knew it would be that bad. They may have thought there would be some boos or even like 50-50 boos. I don't think it would be like 95% booze. I don't think they believed it. But that's the thing. Like, it's definitely because of recent events, because Hulk Hogan's come back before and he hasn't gotten booed that bad,
No,
so
absolutely not. You're right.
So it's just that it's just about the political part and the fact that it's so like just him being out there, like all he's doing is saying everything that The Rock and John Cena already said and blatantly pushing a beer on you, so it's like there's no way he could save it because no matter what he says, he still has to say real American beer. And then everybody's like, I ain't drinking that shit. Boo. So it was never, there was nowhere to go from there. It's like, he just came out, rehashed everything that everybody already said, and then tried to sell you a beer. John Cena didn't tell you like, Peacemaker season 2, like he didn't, it wasn't as bad as that. Even The Rock wasn't as bad as that. So, it was a perfect storm of everything being wrong. But it was pretty funny.
One more thing before we move on. How do you feel about The Rock doing what he did? I mean, because even Triple H said on the post show, I watched it after I recorded, I Like a Roll with Big Ray. I hadn't seen it yet until after the fact, but even Triple H said it's a restart, like we're basically resetting, a lot of the storylines and whatnot. So does this mean that's it? We're done? I've got a theory actually. I think The Rock did what he did because of John Cena and his WrestleMania moment, which kind of ruins The Rock's WrestleMania in some way. That's my theory. I think he's stepping aside for Cena to get his moment, if you know what I mean. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I might be. I probably am wrong. But do you feel what Rock did was okay, or how can you just throw away a whole year worth of storyline for nothing? Like, that really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I just filed this under the category of basically, I say this about almost literally every single angle in professional wrestling across every promotion. Is my whole attitude is, well, that's not how I would have done it. So this is just throw this in the pile. Like,
right.
If I wanted what you could have done, and again, I've spent 0 seconds thinking about this. I'm just now coming up with this off the top of my head. But if you wanted to have the same basic thing happen, you could just have The Rock come out and suspiciously be extra nice to Cody in a way that lets you know, like, I kind of still don't trust The Rock, even though everything he's saying is like
condescending almost.
Yes,
right?
But or just like he's not even acknowledging what they did. He could have just said, like, the better man won, whatever. Like, they could have done anything but what they did. But the fact that he's still coming out with that shit kicker belt over his shoulder is like,
I hate that belt, man.
He's up to something. He's up to something. If he was not going to be a heel, then why is he doing that? So it's intriguing. It's like, so I think he's going to try. I think they're going to try to swerve your expectation a little bit. But as far as like hitting the reset button is the dumbest idea, because one of the best things that the WWE has going for it that nobody else is doing is sort of like the ongoing relationships between the superstars that lets you know, in the words of Dusty Rhodes, it will never be over. Like,
yeah.
Seth and Punk, no matter what happened on Monday, it will never be over. Drew and Punk will never be over. They're not really into it right now, but they're still in the same buildings, and now the triangle is there, and then the more people you add into that triangle, make it a square, make it a penta. Ooh, you keep adding people into this like rotating thing where they're constantly interacting with each other, so that it's not like everything is cut and dried. Like, okay, this person versus this person, and you can't talk to anybody else on the show. Like, no. This is a living, breathing environment. It's a workplace. Let's tap into that. Get your content from that. So you don't, just because so-and-so isn't having a match doesn't mean that you can't like continue like letting people know, hey, remember this? It's still a dangling thread here, just in case we ever want to revisit that. So-and-so still don't like each other. That's fine. We need more of that. As far as John Cena goes, I would absolutely not waste a Royal Rumble win on John Cena. Just for the record, this is just, nobody asked, but I'm just saying, I would not do that, because he's the kind of marquee star that doesn't need a Rumble win to justify his presence at WrestleMania. If you're a company and he works for you, you would book him at WrestleMania. So that's not the issue. And this whole making a run at the title thing is not an issue, because you could literally do that anytime you want. People just walk in to Aldis or Adam Pearce's office and ask for shit all the time. So that's not, you don't need a Rumble for that. You don't need a Money in the Bank for that. John Cena's a perennial contender. He could do it anytime he wants. Or you could even have, a heel champion like Gunther just tell John Cena he's washed up and get the hell out of here early. Like, don't wait till the end of 2025. Leave now. And then start something that way, absolutely. Right? You don't need the Rumble. Rumble should be for somebody that you feel like they're on the climb. They need that one little thing to kind of catapult them a little bit. And a good thing for John Cena to do would be to be in the Rumble, get eliminated by Logan Paul or something like that, and then split off from there, right? and then book that, because those two on the mic would probably be pretty good going into Mania. So I would just set it. I would set that there.
Right. No, absolutely. I'd look forward to that. Actually, that'd be a good back and forth. Todd Brantley actually brought up an interesting thing, because I did read this earlier, and I guess this is part of the news segment now. Shout out to Melina, by the way. I hope she's doing okay. Now, did you hear? Obviously, I hope everyone's okay in LA Those fires look absolutely bad, Vet. I'm just glad that you're not in LA, right? So, not that it matters, but I'm hoping everybody gets through it. But
What happened to
apparently,
Melina? Did she?
she's gone MIA.
Oh, no,
They
Melina?
can't get in contact. Yeah, and they're worried because where she lives apparently is amongst the fires, and no one can get through to her. And people are begging if anyone has seen her or can get in contact to please let them know. So and that was the last time I checked. I don't know if she's gotten in touch with anyone right now, but since the fight started, she has literally gone AWOL, which is not a good sign, dude. So I'm hoping she's cool and she's alive. The fact that they can't get in touch with her for the last few days really worries me, though, dude.
Okay, well, yeah, I hope that everything's all right there.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. So I mean, have those fires even gotten any like? I mean, it's winter right now for you guys, right? So I mean, I've never seen. We get those type of fires every year, generally as well here in Australia, but that's during the summertime, not the winter time. The fact that it's winter over there in your neck of the woods is actually crazy with the fires that are raging, dude. I've never seen that for a winter sort of season.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what season it is. It's all it could be completely like all it takes is one person flicking a cigarette somewhere.
Yeah, that pisses me off, dude. It's always some dickhead that causes those type of fires. But nevertheless, I hope Melina's all okay, but it doesn't look good, man. But we'll see. But in other news, you and I both love Darby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't heard, and I thought, he learned his lesson the first time, apparently the bus incident, that stopped him from going to Mount Everest. Well, get this. Darby Allin reportedly taking a break for AEW, for another attempt at the Mount Everest climb, dude. What's he doing? What's he thinking? Like, I thought the first time was a sign for him not to go. Don't do it again, please.
Well, how many times have I come on here and said you can't tell Darby Allin anything because it's not like he doesn't know it already. It's not like he's doing it because he's a stupid person. He's doing it because he wants to do it. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. So you can't talk him out of it. So he wanted to climb Mount Everest. I guess that's a real thing. At first, last year when all that stuff happened, I just assumed that he was just saying he wanted to climb Mount Everest for the angle. Now that he's doing it again, it's like, oh, I guess he really does want to climb it, but maybe but then I also don't like if you know that this is going to be a thing. Like if you know he's going to climb Mount Everest and people are going to find that out and he's probably going to post about it and like you're going to see evidence of it. I wouldn't do an angle where I write him off TV with an injury because then it's like, well, if you're too injured to be at your job, then why do you climb a mountain? Obviously you're not injured. So I don't like that. So that goes back to the kayfabe thing. Like, just don't do it. Just say, you know what? I'm tired of getting thrown downstairs. I'm perfectly fine. So I'm going to go climb a mountain now. And hopefully someone else will, I'll let Cope deal with, the Death Riders while I'm gone. And hopefully he'll have gotten rid of them by the time I come back, maybe something like that. Or what I also advocate, instead of writing somebody off TV by getting injured, why don't you write somebody off TV by doing something to somebody else and then getting suspended and like that? But obviously in AEW, no one could get suspended for anything. So, the only way you can lose your job or get suspended or anything is if you slightly grab Jack Perry for a second. But,
there we go.
Yeah.
Booyah.
If you're not going to do that, then there's no chance of you getting suspended. So I guess they just got to throw you down the stairs and you just got to take that bump for no reason.
God. Well, good luck to him, man. I hope he makes it out okay, and I'm sure he should, hopefully. In other news, though, Vet, Odyssey Jones addresses his domestic violence allegations and WWE release. Now, I'm sure you've seen the video. Finally. I know, weird, right?
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, you haven't? Well, this
half of the reason I even do the wreckage is just to get the news.
Awesome. Anyway, this is what he said, and he brought out a video a couple of days ago, I believe. But anyway, this is what he had to say He says, I'm making this video to address the false allegations. These false claims are coming from a party that I used to probably engage with, and I apologize for taking so long addressing these false claims, but I had to patiently wait to get an injunction set in place to protect my family, friends, and myself. He also goes on to say, I'm currently taking legal action against said party, so I can't speak too much more on it, but there will be more information to come. With that being said, I'd like to thank the WWE for the amazing opportunity they've given me in my life. I thank you so much for bringing me on. I'd like to thank all the coaches I've worked with over the years for helping me work on my craft and grow as a person. He also said about his future in wrestling. He goes on to say, with all that being said, the journey continues. I'm ready to get back to doing what I love to do. I'm accepting bookings in 2025, and I thank you all for your support and for your time. I think it's safe to say, Vet, he's done. No one's going to book him. He's going to have that stank on him, with those allegations, in my opinion, regardless if he's innocent or not. Look at Enzo. I know people still book Enzo, but
he still gets booked, so.
Yeah, but I don't see AEW or WWE ever looking at him again. You know what I mean? Period. I just don't see it. It's a shame, too, because I'm a fan of his. I just love his shit talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. If he's really innocent, then
right.
They will.
Look at Velveteen Dream's another example. He could have been a huge star.
Is he innocent?
Now. Yeah, he gives me weird vibes, dude. So I actually think he's not.
So I don't know. Like we look, no one really knows who's innocent and not. It's really just like whatever the law says you are.
Right. I know it's fucked.
But
it's fucked
but yeah, like these kinds of things can happen. Like hopefully everybody's been fortunate enough to not get caught up in stuff like this where, you get involved with somebody that may be crazy and will do whatever it takes to ruin your life, which could definitely happen, especially if you're a public figure. They know that they can get back at you by saying whatever. Now that doesn't mean that Odyssey Jones is innocent of anything, but it doesn't mean he's guilty. We'll probably never really know. But it's just one of those things that, unfortunately it happens. So now, is this a huge loss for the wrestling world? Not really. No offense to Odyssey Jones. It's not like he was never going to change the business or anything like that. He was just a cool looking guy to have around, but
it is what it is.
Whatever is meant to happen, I hope it happens. I hope the universe unfolds as it should when it comes to Odyssey Jones.
Also, we got AEW news once again, and it's pretty obvious now at this point, especially after watching Dynamite this past week. But it's safe to say that Malachi Black is done with AEW, I think. The reports are that he's believed to be going back to WWE, and he's finished up with AEW. And after seeing Dynamite and what happened, with Buddy and Ospreay and what Ospreay said, we'll get to that. It seems like he's officially done. That's what the report.
And what happened on Collision with what Coach said.
Collision, right? So, is it safe to say he's done? Is he officially gone?
I don't know. Well, it was safe to say he was done before, and then he goes and sits in his car and makes a video telling us he's not done. So, like,
that's true.
I'll just wait and see. I really don't care. I can't stress. I feel like, even though you guys know, I still feel like I can't stress to you how much I don't care about things like this. I will just, whatever show he walks out on, that's the show he's on to me. I don't worry about it. So, and that's the problem, because this is what it comes back to. We get some report. Okay, what you just read, Jimmy, where the fuck did that come from? Give me some sources.
The Malachi Black thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't even click on the article, dude, to be fair.
Oh, you were just thinking about...
No. I saw the article, right? And I just said what I said, but I didn't
So another headline reader.
It was Meltzer that said it.
Meltzer said it, right? So Meltzer of the maybe they will, maybe they won't, or I don't know. Like, great. How much is that per month? It should be a discounted rate, right? Like,
it should, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about this, because like you said, Oh, and also, you know what? PW Insider also reported it. And to be fair, out of all the dirt sheets lately, it seems like PW Insider has had the inside word on certain things, and they've been pretty correct lately. So I'll give him that. If they call it, I believe it to be about 90% fact that he's going.
Mike Johnson knows how to play the game.
He does. That's true. Especially after the game absolutely destroyed him once. Do you remember that on a call? The call press conferences they used to do. That was pretty funny. But
he also
whatever.
He also knows how to eat on the air and watch wrestling in the shower and whatever else.
Watch wrestling in the shower. Come on, bro.
It's people like Mike Johnson. No offense to the guy. He seems like a nice guy. It's people like Mike Johnson is why I call myself the best in the world. Do you guys understand that? Like that's who I'm thinking of. When I come on here and say I'm the best in the world and no one can do what I do, and basically everybody at HMG, where at any given moment at the drop of a hat, someone could say, hey, we need you guys to go live and cover something in wrestling. No one's going to be able to do it better than us. Anybody. To actually know what they're talking about, put a decent show together with no prep, and just go off the dome for a couple of hours, right? And this motherfucker is an insider, literally the PW insider and whatever. And you've seen clips of his podcasts and his broadcasts and his everything, and just and he would regularly go on. When the Taz had his show, the Taz show, and Mike Johnson was on there a lot, and Taz would just run him. He would just drag Mike Johnson. It was so embarrassing and cringe. I'd be like cringing, like, ugh, poor Mike Johnson, like just sitting here and having to take it because you can't say anything to Taz. No. He will drop any thought that he's having to run you into the ground for like 20 straight minutes off topic, So hearing him just get treated like that, and then hearing the clips of audio from his own shows, hearing his reporting, just like I look at a guy like that and how he has a standing in the community, right? And that just, to me, I'm like, I'm happy for him that he's able to do that. I don't personally have a problem with Mike Johnson. But it's just, I just have to say, like, we are so underrated. And the reason that is because of people like him who are out there getting stuff while we struggle. You know what I mean? So that's why if you ever wonder why the vet's so arrogant and calls himself the best in the world, just go listen to Mike Johnson content.
Not just that, we're the coolest mofos in the IWC community, in my opinion. And I truly believe that. I mean, let's be real now. But the only thing I'll say about Mike Johnson, at least he actually wishes me a happy birthday every year. So shout outs to him. He actually does, weird enough. I've spoken to him a few times, but I never really, he's not my type of dude, if you know what I mean. He's a bit of a weird dude too. But anyway, in saying that, he does get the inside word somehow, and good on him for that. And last but not least, Vet, it's Vince McMahon. Apparently he reaches a settlement deal with SEC over violating Security Exchange Act as McMahon and Janelle Grant's attorney issues statements. Now, I don't know if I can be bothered reading the whole statement right now because it's just going to waste more time. I'm just going to say this. I won't do it, but it's over now. We're done, and we can all move on now from this. So he's basically paid, a settlement, and we're finished. That's it. No more.
Finished with what? We're finished with the people he paid a settlement to. This is not about the Janelle Grant lawsuit. So
it is. It's also about the Janelle Grant lawsuit, and the government have stopped investigating him. They found nothing, apparently.
Nope. Incorrect.
Really?
Yes.
That's his statement. That's what his statement said.
Well, his statement is about this particular settlement.
Right.
They're still awaiting the trial or whatever that is that they've tried to delay multiple times actually the trial was delayed because of these I believe in part, if not in whole, because of these SEC investigations. It's like
Right.
we're gonna put a hold on this going to trial because these investigations need to be concluded. Now that they're concluded, we can move forward with the trial. If I'm not right about that, so I mean, Liz has been following this as more as more closely than I have. So she can whatever she's typing in the chat, I'm sure she's typing something in the chat right now, catching everybody up to speed. But no, Vince McMahon is in so much hot water that everybody just assumes, like you obviously did, that this has to do with everything. It's not over. It will never be over.
It'll never be over. Well, like I said, they both brought out statements. Go and check it out. I'm not going to sit here and read all that crap. Whatever's going on, we'll wait and see. But that's the news. And there was a lot of news, actually, for the week. Because usually we don't go 36 minutes about wrestling news. But God damn it, I try to even, condense it a little bit. But it was long. But that's all right, because I think it's time to put the gloves on, Vet, and start to sift through the wreckage.
Yep. Let's sift. Let us sift. Now, Jimmy, you are already saying, as I vamp and pull my notes up at the same time, because I'm the best in the world, I'm not going to have dead air like Mike Johnson. So you were already saying that you were not too displeased with Dynamite this week. So
yeah, I thought the flow was quite good. It went quick for me, dude, to be fair. And you know what? You want to talk about the a la carte cart, our carts of the a la cartes, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. There was a lot for me. Like, I was full by the end of it. Put it that way. So I thought
be sure to point all those things out and build yourself a nice menu so that we can see what you ate this week.
Oh, I ate a lot.
Yeah. Well, let's see if what we started with was on your menu. It's Will Ospreay versus Buddy Murphy. Remember him?
Yes, I do.
because apparently that's what Will Ospreay knows him as, because he legitimately called him Buddy Murphy accidentally. Yeah. Remember that? He's like, this man, Buddy Murphy Matthews, in it. It's Matthews in it.
Dude, did Ospreay look freaking like sick or something, dude? He looked fucked up, man.
I don't know. He's admittedly on the spectrum, so I don't know what all that entails from day to day, but
true. I'm not going to judge him for that. I don't even know if he's being honest about that. Do you believe him?
Yes. It would explain a lot. But so yeah, they had this match, and it ends with a hidden blade. So I don't, and it's, of course they do that thing where Buddy Murphy just sits there looking at it like, yeah, I know it's coming. Give it to me. Like this over dramatic. This is like some bloodline match bullshit. Like, dramatic storytelling in the ring. Yeah. So afterwards, after the match, Will Ospreay shakes hands with Buddy and cuts a promo calling him Buddy Murphy, and then says, if you ever need somebody in your corner, I'll be there. So this is kind of what you're talking about in terms of the Malachi thing. It's like, well, he's not around, and people are like offering to befriend the guys that are left, even though all they ever did while they were here was turn the lights out on people and spit in their faces with black mist. But apparently everybody wants to be their friends now, because I guess that's just, all that storytelling and character building we did was for nothing. So
including Julia Hart, mind you.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just that she's not here. That's why I'm not bringing it up. Yes, including her too.
Crazy, man. So stupid. But the match was half decent. Typical Buddy Ospreay type of match, I guess. Still, the fans were into it. Everyone was excited about it. But what I hate, Buddy takes a lot of losses, man, against people that are just above him. You know what I mean?
Why
he beats all the jobbers. I feel like he should get a big win here and there. You know what I mean? But they don't. See, I don't shit on all Australians.
I don't.
Really? You don't? He's pretty boring.
No, this is an Australian that I will go ahead and put down, because he is, and Will Ospreay is, they're emblematic of what is wrong with wrestling today, in my opinion, the actual wrestling part of it, because this is white-face lucha libre and white-face Japanese wrestling.
Oh shit. Jam, bro.
Like this is what they watch the other matches and they emulate what they see in the other matches, but they don't understand the psychology of it. And then people go,
at all, bro.
Buddy wrestles like a guy that has only ever watched modern era New Japan tapes. Like he never, not that it would be tapes, it would be streams. He watched the streams, and he only just looks like he's copying everything he saw. There's no soul or like psychology or anything behind any of his matches. And
None,
so,
bro, you're right.
He's got the look of it. He's doing everything he can to be like, you know, a human action figure, like a Masters of the Universe figure from the 80s, and copy all the cool Japanese spots and stuff that he saw, but he just doesn't understand any of it. He has no charisma whatsoever, and he's got that typical, what I call like, you know, the modern indie look, which is the carrot haircut, the beard, the kick pads, the tights with a belt, you know, like those kind of things. Or in his case, like the shredded up shorts, you know, like
I hate those shorts, dude. Straight up. I don't like that look.
Yeah, it's the indie uniform that he's got going on right now. So
right.
Like there's so many people that look like him. And I just there's not $1 on him, and there never will be, no matter what he does. So because he just can't make that connection. Will Ospreay makes a little more of a connection to the audience than him.
He does.
But essentially, these two guys are just like, these two guys, what they do, and especially what they do in a match with each other is just like, fast forward for me, because I've already seen it all. I've seen everything they're ever going to do in every match that they do.
Dude, I wasn't on the edge of my seat or anything. Put it that way. During that match, I was pretty much setting up for this show, and because I already knew what I was expecting for this match. Honestly, anyone that knows these two, you already know what to expect. You wouldn't even have to watch it knowing what type of match this was going to be and who was going to win. But you know, the fans, you know, the AEW fan base clearly get excited over this shit. No psychology, no charisma, just two athletes. Because they're two good athletes. I'll give him that. And, you know, they look like, especially Buddy, looks like $1 million, but has the charisma of a carrot and looks like one, unfortunately, you know, up here. But, you know, which makes me wonder, what did Rhea Ripley see in him other than he's Australian? So she makes him, you know, he makes her feel like she's at home. That's sometimes what I think, dude. She's just with him because they're in America. You know what I mean? Like, and she feels like his comfort with him. You know what I mean?
Well, this guy also like Alexa Bliss, right? So clearly he's got something in real life that he doesn't have on television. So
he was engaged, dude.
Maybe it's in the pants. Right. Maybe the reason that women like him is the one thing you can't show on television. Maybe.
It could be. I forgot all about that, man. That's actually a great point, man. It's so true. And the Buddy name has got to go, man. If you're going to do something with yourself, get rid of the fucking Buddy name, man. All right. What are you, a dog? Is he a dog, bro? Like, only dogs are called buddies.
I know, man. I know, but someone should have told him that a long time ago. Or maybe he just thought, well, there's no buddies in wrestling, so at least I don't have to worry about it getting taken, you know?
That's true. Todd in the chat says, Jimmy, you know why she's with him? Why, Todd?
Because AEW.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, after we got these white-faced Japanese wrestlers, we got a package about Japan and everything everything about, like, you know, what happened over Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. So a little clip package if you missed that. And then out comes Private Party with, you know, Tennessee's finest hoes. They set up their little party up at the top. And the Hurt Syndicate comes out. They want a party too. So
they want to hurt
they make
people.
A toast. They take the champagne, they make a toast, and they're like, here's a toast to us winning these tag team titles, and then they dump the champagne out and go to the ring because it's time for our next match, which is Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, versus Mark Briscoe, dat boy, with MVP on commentary.
That's an intriguing match. I looked forward to this, man, because that's different. So kudos to AEW for booking a match that's actually different. And you know what, man? It was a quick match, but it was a fun, quick match. Even though, of course, Lashley wins via the hurt lock. But still, I felt like, Mark Briscoe gave him a little quick run. But, it was too much, obviously, because Lashley is Lashley. And, in the end, of course, he gets the win. But it was a fun little quick match.
Yeah. All right. Couple things before we move on. Yes, you guys can put all the buddies of wrestling in history throughout that we know. Like, of course, there have been. I was talking about more so like these days, we don't really, especially with the gimmick that he's doing and other things. But yes, of course, there have been buddies, and those fit those guys, I guess. Shout out to Adrian. Thanks for making it, buddy. And Liz says, as the chick in the chat, that isn't something that lasts. So typically chicks don't marry the guy if that's all he's got. Just saying. Yeah. I mean,
that's true.
That's true.
Use it.
Yeah. I'm not going to discount it. I would just counterpoint with like, well, but it's a good starting point. And then maybe nothing better comes along. Who knows? That's their business and they're welcome to it.
Apparently chicks like the buddy types as a one night stand and then they get over it. They don't want to, settle down with those type of looking guys. But anyway, what do I know?
All right. So back to the match. So, obviously Bobby Lashley is going to beat the shit out of Mark Briscoe for a while,
Right.
But this is a good match for Mark Briscoe to lose. But the problem is, like, I kind of really would have liked for Mark Briscoe to be on more of a winning streak per se when he gets to this point, so that the Bobby Lashley win can mean more too. You know what I mean? So
they don't take risks, dude. I feel like in AEW, like they don't. Have you noticed, like the guys that are below another guy that's a bigger star, never, it's rare when they ever get a win. Like, is Briscoe ever going to beat Lashley? I hope so. But in AEW, it's like guys that are just below someone else, they seem to never get that win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at least this wasn't. See, this to me, this didn't reek of a strong win for Bobby Lashley.
No, it wasn't. It actually wasn't.
It was a good match. Interesting pairing. Obviously, guys have never worked before.
Never, dude.
So very intriguing. So I enjoyed that part of it. But of course, it's going to be a hurt lock, right? And that's going to end it.
I hate to fool Nelson straight up because it does not hurt at all. It is the worst submission move in wrestling history, dude.
Jimmy, if you had Bobby Lashley put you in that, you would definitely have a different.
I'm sure.
He would break your neck. But he tries. They try to break Mark Briscoe's neck afterwards because again they're sore winners in the hurt. They hurt people really.
They hurt people.
What it comes down to. Yeah, and
right.
But Private Party, stops partying at the top to run down and save Mark Briscoe. So now I don't know why the Hurt Syndicate didn't just kick the shit out of them too, but I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Do you feel like maybe they're gonna try to recruit Private Party? For a minute, they made you think like, could they be turning on Mark Briscoe? But they didn't, obviously. But you know what? Maybe they need a new attitude. You know what I mean? And freshen them up a little bit. I think that might actually work for them, but who knows? I doubt they'll do that though.
Maybe New Attitude should be the new Dynamite theme song. I got a new attitude. Like,
dude, we got Maximum Carnage next week again. We're still running. Yeah. I mean, come on, bro. We're still doing the gimmick shit. And where does that show sound familiar? That is my thing. There used to be a show called Friday Night Carnage, which on the PWC network, which is essentially Uncaged, but the PWC version.
Well,
but not anymore.
They stole it from Marvel Comics, Jimmy. They didn't steal it from you.
Of course.
So it's time for the Casino Gauntlet.
Ugh.
Oh, you're not a fan. All right. Well, it's
No.
going to start with Switchblade Jay White. So at least you're going to see him throughout the whole thing. At least that's a bonus, right?
And at least he didn't win it, if you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Switchblade and Hangman to start this gauntlet. And then in order that they join the match, Wheeler Yuta, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Daniel Garcia, Will Hobbs, Roderick Strong, and Lance Archer. And then Kyle O'Reilly. And even though Kyle O'Reilly is back with the Undisputed Kingdom on the Tron, it still said conglomeration. So way to keep up your continuity, guys. Maybe find that guy who was in charge of that. And then finally, Jeff Jarrett. Comes out. And
King
some
of the
stuff
Mountain.
happens. Yeah, King of the Mountain.
No, they're teasing it, bro. They're teasing it.
Yeah, Darby. Not Darby Allin, Jeff Jarrett. And then, so Hobbs hits the spinebuster on Kyle and pins him, so he is the new number one contender. And then Renee goes out for a rare ring appearance, a ring interview. She's like, hey, well, you get a shot at my husband. And he's like, that's right. Well, time to shoot a little bit, which, what did I say about using terms? What did I say about using terms, Will Hobbs?
William Hobbs.
Yeah, William Hobbs, if that is your real name. Yeah, so he definitely said that Jon Moxley brought him into this business. But next week, he says, I'm going to make you my bitch.
Ooh. How many dudes in AEW say the same terminology, dude? Yep. It's not even cool anymore.
Also, it's not going to happen. So it kind of...
I know. That's what's sad. They're just... I know, in hindsight, the AEW marketers are looking at this, Hobbs getting a push again. Hell no. He's getting buried. He's going to lose again. And then what? You know what I mean? Nothing. We go back to doing nothing with Hobbs. He goes back on his little journey with his booklet around Oakland, looking for himself again or something. I hate how they're doing this to him, dude, because, they should do more with this guy, but clearly, again, he's not small enough, clearly, to be pushed to the moon. But that's why I said I'm glad that Jay White didn't win, because we don't want that with Jay, obviously. What I did like about this was when Ricochet came out, though. That was kind of funny, bro. Where, everyone thought it was Swerve. Whose house? It's Ricochet's house, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Good
Again,
stuff.
the bitch.
Good stuff.
But it was good. I like that, right?
Yeah, and it's just amazing how some people still just don't get it. Like I don't know what to tell supposed wrestling legends that cover these shows that just don't understand that Ricochet has been turning heel for a long time and they're confused about it. But I don't know, man. Maybe the business has definitely, it's not even that the business has passed them by. It's they don't care to pay attention to what's in front of their faces. But
I love you, Vet. You kill it, bro.
The bit, or to put it another way, the business has gotten so fucked over the past 20 years that when people are trying to go back and do things the right way, it's unrecognizable to the old heads. Like they don't even recognize what they used to do because it has to be done in a new way now. Like you can't make people heat. Like how are you supposed to get heat as a heel by beating somebody up after a match when everybody does that now? So now the new way to be a heel is to, or like if you do heelish things, people cheer you. So now the new way to be a heel is to make people think you're really a douchebag. So you do what Max Caster or Ricochet do and go on podcasts and make people think you're really that big of a dick, and then people think you are, and then they boo you in the arena. Because they won't boo you if you try to do what a heel does. Because if a heel would do something like beat you up with a weapon or put you through a table, people like that. So it's going to get you cheered. So now people have to go about being a heel in new ways to try to adapt to the business. And then old people are confused on their podcast when they talk about it. Like, I don't know who's supposed to be a babyface and a heel anymore. Like, clearly.
It's been a long term. It's been, he's been doing this for quite a while now. So I'm surprised that, the veterans of our network think that way. But you know what? Maybe they didn't obviously realize what was going on beforehand. Heck, even before he debuted in AEW, he was already playing up that character, obviously testing the waters. So, it is what it is. But yeah, maybe it has moved past him. Who knows? Because I could say a lot of things about, that type of stuff, but it is what it is.
I do also want to say, as far as like Hobbs going over here in this match, now, if we're to believe that Moxley is in control of his own creative, that could be a call. Like, they wouldn't have wanted to push Will Hobbs necessarily, but if Moxley's like, I want to work with Hobbs, then he gets to have his own creative. So does that mean he gets to decide who goes over in a match like this? Because he's basically saying, for my creative, I want to work with Hobbs. So let's do and then Tony can be like, well, let's do a casino gauntlet, and then Hobbs can win that and go on to work with you. Is that a thing? Like, how far, we don't know how far the creative control extends or to what degree or whose idea was what, but I mean, that could be the only reason why a guy like Hobbs would win this.
Look, I had that thought cross my mind where I just thought to myself, I hope they, grow some balls and just do it. Like, put him over, even if it is for a couple of weeks only. It'd be huge, dude. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you want people to start talking about your company and build a little bit of momentum, are you telling me if Hobbs ends up beating Moxie, they'll get everybody talking in the IWC, dude? I think it would be good for them if they actually had some balls and went down that route. Will they do it? I hardly doubt it.
No, 100%. Absolutely not. I will tell you that right now, 110%. No, they will not.
That's the problem.
Absolutely not. Nor should they, but it's better to just maybe not go down this route. And that could be the only reason. That's why I brought up the idea that it could have been Moxley's choice, could be the only reason they're even going down this route in the first place. But it's fine. Hobbs will get the experience that comes with doing a program like this, hopefully. But what that's going to eventually pan out into, I don't know. We'll see. Next up is a package for the Christian and Hook thing. And then we get a rare Ian Riccaboni in ring.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised it was even there. But you know what? He was kind of fresh on commentary. Even though I can't stand the guy as a person and shit, I felt like I felt everybody was serious on commentary with him being around.
Yeah. Well, he's in there with Jeff Jarrett. Haha. And he's like, well, Jeff, you fucked up your chance at winning the belt with the casino match. So what are you going to do? And then here comes MJF. And then he's out here to propose an alliance, I guess is the shortest way I can write this in my notes.
Where this is going to go. He's going to screw him over.
It's not going to get a chance because Double J declines.
Right.
Obviously the heel Jeff Jarrett is like, no. I don't know. Whatever. He's not buying it. He's not buying what Max is selling, basically.
Well, I think when he does, he will have a world title match, and I do think MJF will be the one that takes it away from him. Like, he's going to be so close, yet MJF fucks him up. But what worries me, Vet, there's too much King of the Mountain talk, if you know what I mean. And it gives me bad flashbacks of TNA and the King of the Mountain match. Could they possibly be teasing this shit? Or I'm just looking too deep into it?
Yeah, you're just looking too deep into it. Because he always calls himself that anyway.
I know, that's why. That's why
I don't think it necessarily means he's gonna. Yeah, it's also not like a, like a signature match that you want to have.
No, hell no.
If Dusty Rhodes has like a bull rope match, or something like that, Now you can kind of understand, like, oh, I'm good at this match or whatever, but no one can be good at a King of the Mountain match. It's way too random. You would be decreasing your chances of winning the title anytime that you put yourself in that match. So it's not a good idea to have as a signature match anyway.
Speaking of a match I've ever seen, like honestly. But anyway,
yeah. Speaking of not a good idea, Cope. He's got a shirt. He's got a shirt. On the shirt it says Legend, but inside it's spelled with a D. Ledge, edge, end. You didn't notice that?
I actually didn't know. I didn't know. I saw the legend part, but I didn't notice the spelling. That's interesting.
Yeah, legend, edge, end.
Get it? Spell Cope.
Get it, everybody? You know your favorite wrestler, Cope, and his previous name.
What was he? Like, was he on the edge of something or something like that? You know what's funny? He tried to actually copyright the Edge name, and WWE went like this, and copyrighted the name. So sorry,
you should have just let him have it because they don't care at all.
Well, rated R superstar. I mean, he's got rated R superstar. If I was him, I would have just called myself that. Fuck Cope, because there's no hope for Cope.
Yeah, I'll just cook. Yeah, it's better to just call yourself R. Just the letter R than Cope.
Yeah, Cope is just stupid, man. The worst. Who thought? I know who thought about it and who thought of it, but god damn it, get creative or something. But anyway.
Well, that's not this guy's strong suit. So he comes out and to your point, he starts talking about all the adversities that he's overcome. You know,
blow me.
Another one of these rah-rah speeches like, hey,
I hate these
look at all this stuff I did. And then the Death Riders start coming through the crowd like, let's kill this guy. And for once I'm on their side. Like, yes, please kill him.
Me too.
Please kill him. But then FTR jumps. And then but they jump in the ring to help out, but then the Riders get over for a little bit, but then Hobbs comes out and prevents another suffocation. Like yet another suffocation was about to happen, but thankfully Will Hobbs was, he hadn't hit the showers just yet. He didn't have the shower cap and the towel on. So he was able to just run out and save us from a murder, which this is the one time I'm like, oh, Hobbs, if only you could have just been in the shower and we could have ended this.
That would have been a segment. Imagine Moxley having a shower and
the first murder on the second live Dynamite on Max.
Oh Jesus! Speaking of that, the numbers apparently were atrocious on Max, but neither here or there. Labrat says FTR needs to go to Z. Yeah, you know what? Talk about a team that's just ice cold right now, in my opinion. No one gave a shit.
Fellas, what's cooler than cool?
FTR.
All right.
No, but really though, did it feel like no one gave a shit? Because I felt that way. No one just reacted to it. When Hobbs came out, they reacted. FTR was like, yeah, but they're like in the background, dude. They're so cold right now. It's ridiculous. You might as well put them out of their misery.
I agree.
Dax and then cashed and
cash, yeah, stupid.
Cold guys out.
Cold guys out. All right.
Oh, damn it.
Well, some might call Mariah May cold for a different reason.
Different reason. This is funny.
They just might. And then here comes Harley Cameron to book herself in a match for Collision. Feel the wrath.
I like her because she's just funny. She can't wrestle, but she's entertaining in terms of she's just a character. But, unfortunately, we're going to see a 50-50 type of match, but Mariah May will win. But, for whatever reason, Harley Cameron's going to look kind of decent in this match. I don't know why they do that with her, but they will. You know what I mean? 100%. Just like all her other matches.
Yeah. Here goes a three-way. Again, this could be hot.
It could be.
Depends on how into these ladies you are. Tony Storm, the rookie, Chris Statlander,
lot of
the
meat in
former
this match.
Alien, former heel, former Rhea Ripley,
Wow.
and Willow Nightingale, the former Couch. I don't know.
The former couch. Damn.
Yeah. She's in fighting shape, I guess.
So wait, was she a former pillow? And that's why she's called Willow now.
Oh, I see. Pillow Nightingale. Right. Yeah.
Pillow Nightingale. There we go. That's her new name from now on.
Okay. Yeah. So that
a match.
yeah, they had a match. They all had a match.
I didn't care about this match, straight up, dude.
Yeah.
By this point, I was looking forward to Kenny's segment, which was right after this.
Right.
So
I know. From the moment the show came on, Jimmy was just like, "Get to Kenny." He's like
Get
yelling.
To Kenny, man.
Dee's looking over at him like.
Actually, she likes Kenny. She likes Kenny.
Oh.
So, but you know what? It's getting hard to be a fan of his right now compared to how I used to be.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. It's Statlander goes over on the rookie Tony Storm. You know, it's a few years too early for you, kid. So yeah,
rookie mistake.
Right. Then Renee interviews Tony Storm afterwards, and she's like, "I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready." All right. So now we're here. We're at the main event. Kenny Omega comes out with his awful
God.
entrance music. This
Dude.
is so bad. I'm if you do mute, okay, like this is what I said this the people that you may have heard this on my Twitch stream or whatever, but I'll say it here. If you do a song like that, like one of those like nerd Final Fantasy epic sounding orchestra songs, you can't have male vocals on that. It's got to be like female choir vocals. It can't be male choir vocals. It sounds so bad when it's dudes singing it. It's so corny. It's so cheesy. It's still cheesy even if the women do it, but at least that gives it like some sort of an air of like class or whatever. But
this was
so that's no good.
Oh, and you know what's funny? The crowd were chanting his name right before the song hit, right? And then when the song did hit, did you hear the absolute quiet? Like people were like confused. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, like no reaction to. They were like, "What's this?"
Yeah, this is what debuted at Wrestle Dynasty,
right? And I knew that, but damn, that stinks. Like that's, dude. Please.
And he had to listen to that and approve that, right?
I bet you it was his idea, dude. What do you mean? I guarantee you that was his thing, and he loves it deep down. But it's not a wrestling tune. Come on, bro. Come on, Kenny. Get your shit together, bro. God damn. Yeah, no, I can't. If he's going to keep coming out to this crap, it almost sounds opera-esque too. Like it was definitely like Final Fantasy type of shit, 100%. But there was a part of the songs where I started to laugh, like I was hearing, oh, whatever the fuck was going on in the background. I'm just like, this is fucked. This is bad. Please, Kenny.
You might as well have got Michael McDonald to sing it.
Or Billy Manilli or something. I mean,
so anyway, yeah, so that happened. And then, so he's out there to do a promo, and then Don Callis comes out. And the only thing I like about this was that normally in a segment like this, Kenny Omega would just stand there for like 10 minutes while Don Callis talks. But this time, Kenny just ran up the ramp, got out of the ring, ran up the ramp to beat him up. But then the family came out and beat him up. And started punching him in the stomach. You know, Brian Cage with a big stomach punch. And then Ospreay comes out with the chair, you know, to save his old enemy. Should have came out with a screwdriver, to be honest. I don't know why he didn't.
That's true.
But yeah, he thought a chair would be better in this situation, and then then they did the thing like he's holding the chair like he's gonna hit Kenny, he's just like, and then he does it like. It didn't even make sense. The way they played that out, the body language and everything was all wrong. It didn't make sense. It didn't look believable. It didn't look like natural. It just looks like, oh, we got to do an angle because remember when we didn't like each other, but now we kind of do, but not really, but kind of. I would have hit him. I would have hit him just for the song, just of like,
yeah.
Bro, the song
man.
is
I'm gonna tweet
the
him.
song is
Actually,
the
I can't
shits
tweet
in
him.
it. Bam.
It's the shit. But someone needs to tell him everybody hashtag Kenny's song sucks. Please. Get everyone just message him on Twitter or whatever and tell him how bad it is, man. No, the G Ball, just quality. They have koala bear season all year round here. God. And no, nobody eats them. Jesus Christ.
All right. So that happened, and what was your overall thoughts on that? Like the whole
This sucked. Everything
Kenny,
sucked.
you hated everything about it?
Everything. From the second that music hit, it was just downhill. The whole segment was stupid. I get why they did it, what they did, but man, at this point now, I don't know, bro. Like, what does Kenny need to change up his character a little bit? Not the song, but his character. Just like, does he need to just
what?
go in and do? That's what I was
To
going to
what
ask.
from what?
I have no idea. Like,
what is
something.
his character?
He
has no character. Kenny Omega has no character. He's just a guy named Kenny Omega.
Does it
he
come
clearly
across as corny in his 40s to be called that now?
I mean, that's not it. It's just that
I was joking, really.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like he is what he is, but what you're just saying like should he change it? And it's like what would you change it to? There is nothing to
Kenneth Omegason.
Yeah, is that a character name or is that a character change or a name change though? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, no, right.
And he already did try changing the character because when he was an EVP and they were like heels, they were like corny heels.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
That was kind of, but he's always been kind of like he's too corny. You can't take him seriously as a heel, right?
You're right. Except for Bullet Club days, I didn't mind him as a heel, right? When he was,
but it was corny. Like the cleaner thing where he had like the chicks with the brooms.
That's
like,
funny.
Remember
though.
when he did that? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not what the cleaner means, bro.
Right.
That's not what that means.
He used to clean up, he was the Bullet Club cleaner. He used to clean up the mess at the, that was left over. That's what the character initially was. It turned into something else that wasn't exactly the cleaner, if you know what I mean. But I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't know how long he's got left in the business, but right now he's another one that just feels cold. Even though he's just come back, it just feels like, I don't know, man. Something's missing right now with him. The music doesn't help though. And you know me, I'm a huge fan of his, but at this point it's getting hard to like feel the same way that I used to. You know what I mean? I don't have that same feeling like I used to for him, which is sad. Because I used to enjoy his shit. He's Triple H Kenny Omega run as a heel, the belt collector. As corny as he looked with the stupid mustache, the Triple H 2003, circa 2003 look, it was kind of funny, like, or maybe later. It was probably 2005, 6, even that look. But, he kind of pulled that off all right. You know what I mean? It was kind of funny at the time. But yeah, he's too corny. You're right.
I think what New Japan had going for it at the height of like Kenny's run is you could watch New Japan at any point in the 2017, 18, like in that time period
up, I think was the good old days.
So like if you watch during that time, everybody was basically just a wrestler because it's a wrestling company. Just like everybody at MLB is a baseball player, or just like everybody at NFL is a football player. And then in New Japan, everybody was a wrestler, but they had like a flavor. Like it's like I'm a wrestler that dresses like this and has this attitude, but my job is pro wrestler and that's what I do. I don't come out here and do like comedy skits. I don't come out here and do like long, boring promos. I don't do that. I'm here to do my sport, and I have a flavor because of my outfit, my entrance, my music, my general look, my style, like all that stuff. That's what it had going for it, right?
Right, and that was
And
great. All
because
the way to
yeah,
bottom.
because American wrestling is a lot of bullshit on TV, they've been diverted away from that. It was kind of like that, kind of in the 80s and the Hulkamania-ish with the WWF, like where, look, we're all here to have wrestling matches, but, you know, I'm Hulk Hogan, I'm Macho Man Randy Savage, we're wrestlers, but this is our flavor, this is our look, this is our feel, like this is what we do. We're here to have matches, it's a sport, you know, whatever it is, like from the Bret Harts and like and Andre the Giant and, you know, Hacksaw Jim, like Junkyard Dog, everybody you look at all these people and it's like, okay, I get it, but you're all wrestlers. You know what I mean? And then
I totally understand what you mean.
And then towards into the 90s, we started getting into like the plumbers and clowns and like all this other stuff that's like, why would you do this?
The new generation?
Right. So, you know, wrestling has to be sort of re-educated again, like I was saying, as far as like with Raw, with the long in-between times, building up that anticipation, retraining the audience to expect, you know, like what to expect from the wrestlers. AEW is suffering right now because they have been hot-shotting since 2019, and they crashed and burned a long time ago. And the more that you try to do to get people interested is more hot-shotting. And it's kind of like when you're in quicksand and you're struggling, you're just pulling yourself down deeper because you're not just taking a moment to be calm, reset the situation, and slowly get yourself out. You are trying more and more and more, but all that stuff is like, the more you try to raise the bar, the less people are interested. We've already seen a guy literally use a flamethrower on somebody. So at this point, what the fuck is Will Ospreay threatening to hit Kenny Omega with a chair going to do? I saw a man with a flamethrower. Like, what does your folding chair mean to me in 2025? It's just, you're just wasting my time now. The only logical step from flamethrower is like, instead of shooting him in the legs, you now burn him in the face, right? So that's where you got to go up. You got to kill a guy, you know? And the way they've tried to kill people is only a plastic bag. Even a plastic bag is way steps down from a flamethrower. So you see what I mean? Like that's the problem that they're in. Anyway, I don't know how we got there for Kenny Omega, but let's go to Collision now.
I like it. I like that. That's funny. No, but you're right. No, we got there because of, you know, we're talking about New Japan and Kenny back then and how New Japan was booked from top to bottom, and that's how we got there. Speaking of flamethrowers, I saw cinder blocks, real ones, get thrown on a wrestler and then was in a coma after that. You can't go any worse than that, right? So, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you always can, but it's not going to help your business.
Well, do you remember when RVD got killed in TNA when they wrote him off, defeating his first run in 2010? 2011?
Thankfully, I think I forgot, but if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
No, I don't want to talk about it, but that's an example. Like, I'll never forget that. But anyway, it's here or there. Who cares?
All right. So Collision starting off with the Saturday night main event style promos, which we like.
We're back.
We get it for Harley Cameron and Mariah May, and then also from, you know, two washed up Canadians.
Oof, nice.
Yeah, and that's who we're gonna start with. We're going to start with one washed-up Canadian versus the Redwood. Big Bill. Ooh. Yeah. Cope versus Redwood with Jericho on commentary.
Oh,
what'd you think of this match, Jimmy? Was this on your menu?
No. And you know what? It drained my life, dude. I'm not going to lie. It felt way too long, dude, for me, man. Like, and Jericho doesn't help. I mean, seriously, like, I don't know, dude. I'm sick of Edge already. Like, I'm seeing him too much. You know, even though he's just been back, can we just like, I mean, for example, why is he pissed with Bill for? Like, really? Shouldn't he be going after Mox straight off the bat and taking one of them on instead of Big Deal?
That's Hobbs' problem for now.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Remember back when we were talking about Raw and Netflix, and we were talking about how, like, just because you're not currently booked with somebody right now doesn't mean that you stop hating them, you know? So like the fact that Will Hobbs and Moxley are set to have a match shouldn't get Mox off the hook with Cope, right?
Right, but apparently he did. Jesus, man. And he should know better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's even more weird.
Right. Now the shoot reason this happens is because Edge and all his philanthropy thinks that he's getting to work with the young guys like Big Bill, who's like, how old is he? But yeah. So like that's something that, you know, that's him doing the favor for the kid, right? Like, oh, I get to work with you, right? So how he gives him a favor is he lets him kick out of the spear. Oh my God, the Redwood kicked out of a spear. I can't believe that a guy twice your size kicked out of your move. Like, it's amazing. That? Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So how does Cope respond to this? I guess we don't need to worry about the tired old tropes of like babyface and heels, but like, yeah, he basically, the way he gets out of this is when Big Bill grabs, you know, Edge's throat for the choke slam and gets up off the mat holding his throat, like Edge backs into the referee and grabs him, and the referee turns around, and then Edge just kicks Big Bill in the nutsack, like just straight up, like bam, here it is, and then spears him again, and then spears him again, and then chokes him out. So that's him giving Big Bill the rub.
The Cope rub.
The Cope
rub. It's not any rub. It's not any rub. It's a Cope rub. And you know what's sad?
The C thing.
The C thing. The thing. But what's sad though, I could picture Edge actually saying this to the Big Deal. Right? And when I say deal, I'm not talking about like he's a big deal. I'm talking about DILL deal. You know, he would have been like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm going to get you over and, you know, you're going to kick out of my spear, but I'm going to win in the end, but I'm going to make you look like $1 million, kid, like you said.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure you would. No worries.
If only there was something for him to jump off of in this match, you know, there was nothing high enough. Yeah. Damn. So yeah, I apologize. Thank you, Revamped. Ledge. Yes, I should just be calling him Ledge from now on.
He should call himself Ledge.
Anyway, Ledge it is. So anyway, there's a schmaz because of course, you know, the learning tree's got to start kicking Ledge and yeah.
And jump off the ledge?
Yeah, no, not well, this whole thing did, but yeah, there's a schmaz, you know, like I said, FTR come out, like they do the, you know, okay, learning tree versus these guys, like it will never be over. Yeah, I get it. It's a hot feud right now. Like
it's hot as, bro. It's the hottest feud on TV right now.
Yeah, I can't wait for. I wish I was watching next week's Dynamite right now.
You're that pumped that
so pumped
on right now,
man. Yeah. So speaking of pumped, we get a Kenny package, just in case. Ooh. Yeah. Just in case you haven't been paying attention, you got to see him get beat up from Dynamite here. Because you didn't watch Dynamite, but you're watching Collision. So they caught you up.
Of course. Man. That's how it goes.
Yep. Then we get a Hangman promo where, of all things, this guy says, "How dare you, Christopher Daniels, lay hands on me?" How dare you? I burned a man's house down, but how dare you attack me backstage on a wrestling show? Because that never happens. And if it does, people around here get fired.
Yeah. How dare you not get arrested after burning houses down?
Yeah. You know how Christopher Daniels didn't get fired? Well, I don't know if he's an EVP or not, but the reason he didn't get fired for attacking Hangman Page is because he just ran straight to him and started punching him. He did not grab him in any real form or fashion. It was just punches. So that's okay. As long as you don't grab a guy, you won't get fired.
Nope. You just throw punches wildly. Yeah. It's acceptable in AEW. No one can throw a punch in AEW just quietly, but I'm just saying.
Right, yeah. I mean they can, but will they?
Nah, there are a few.
Well, look good.
Moxie still can't.
Yeah. he can't do anything. Texas Death Match is what Hangman Page eventually says. Like that's what we're.
Woo.
Yep. That's his
'Cause I wanna
signature
see
match, even though he's from Virginia or somewhere.
I know. He's from freaking Virginia. Exactly, dude. Nothing screams cowboy like Virginia.
Okay, Liz says, this was awful sauce. Can we make Page mute now? He shouldn't be allowed to talk ever. It's too painful. Now, to that point, Liz and everyone, you know me, I got to watch these shows at 2 times speed, right? And
I don't blame you.
I was watching this in double speed, and Hangman Page's promo felt like it was taking a while. So I can only imagine what it sounded like in real time. Holy shit. The pauses this guy was taking.
Dude, the pauses I was taking just listening to this idiot.
The power of the phone. Like you could scroll your social media timeline in between his pauses.
Dude, all I was hearing was me in my ears, dude. And I was just like, fuck this guy, man. Why should I care? Give me a reason why I should care about this goof. Honestly, there's no reason for me to care.
Which one? Both?
Well, yeah, both at this point, honestly. But I'm talking about Page, particularly. They've killed him, dude. They've killed. There's no. I just feel like there's no coming back from this anymore with him. Done and dusted.
Killed him.
I know that.
It's a classic Jim Ross call.
Yeah, they killed him. Yeah, I can't do it, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. God, by God, they killed him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Shout out to JR. I wish he was on commentary. He would have shat all over this, but he wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. We now turn our focus to Pac. If you remember him, sometimes he's around, sometimes he's not.
6-pack.
He will always be in his gear, just wet.
Yeah.
No matter what everybody else is dressed like, as we've covered in the past.
That's a running gag at this point now.
Yeah, but he's actually, it's okay because this time he actually has a match, so it's fine. His opponent is Ring of Honor Television Champion Commander. You know, they have a nice little match or whatever, but it does end with the Brutalizer from Pac. So obviously he gets a Ring of Honor Television title shot, obviously, because it's a non-title match, but so he's earned a shot at that. And of course, you know, the Death Riders is going to come in and, you know, so that means the Outrunners have to come in and make the save. Hallelujah. But also this works out because they have a match next. And it's Runners versus Riders, that being Yuta and Claudio now. And
it's got a good sound to it. Riders versus Runners, Runners versus Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Riders are faster than Runners.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you get where I'm getting at.
That's true. I see. Well, anyway, they have a match. You know, do you have any comment on the match or?
I love the Runners.
Runners?
I do, man. They're the most over tag team in AEW right now, and they do fuck all with them, dude.
Exactly. As soon as they got hot, it's like, get off TV. Except to do stupid shit.
Company.
Or waste your time.
Bullshit. They organically were getting hot, dude. Everyone was jumping on the bandwagon, and look at them cool them right off. Like, for nothing, dude. For nothing. Screw you, Tony.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I mean, just if you just went with everybody that got hot, maybe things would get hot.
Isn't it how pro wrestling used to be, right? It wasn't, the thing
allegedly
where you listen to the audience, right? That's out the window now, man.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, but
no one listens to the fans anymore. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. Especially TK definitely doesn't listen. He acts like he does, but he doesn't.
Well, he needs to listen to all those fans making no noise when a lot of people come out. So
right.
That might change. Anyways, the Death Riders win with the rocket launcher. Hey, little throwback action. Claudio launched Yuta off the top into a splash, so they get the win with that. And then no follow-up. Like, because they always try to kill everybody after they win, but this time not really.
They must be fans of the Riders. I mean, the Runners.
Maybe the Outrunners are what, because the Outrunners, obviously they come from a previous generation, right? So maybe
timeline,
Moxley
dude.
has more respect for them than that. Like he's not including them in sort of the purge of AEW that he's trying to do. Maybe they're exempt from the purge.
Maybe.
And the only reason that they keep getting involved, with the Outrunners is because the Outrunners are coming in to save their friends. So yeah, I think if the Outrunners would just stop saving people, they'd get off scot-free and all this. But anyway.
I mean, technically they're from the past, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of absolutely nothing, Will Hobbs does a promo here with music underneath this time.
Powerhouse.
I'm not a fan of especially anybody that listens to the Impact Attack knows I'm not a fan of promos with music playing under it. It's the corniest thing in the world.
What was the thought process behind this? Like, really?
I don't know. Maybe Hobbs' last promo was so bad they felt they needed to pre-tape it and do several takes and put music to distract you for how bad it is, because this one wasn't that good either.
Maybe, it's
yeah. Very basic.
You could actually be onto something. Maybe he feels more comfortable that way to do a promo.
I don't think they give a shit how he feels about it. I think they just look at it as like, yeah. I don't know, dude. There's something about like Hobbs has. Will Hobbs has pretty. On paper, he just look at everything and you're like, okay, yeah.
Oh.
But then he opens his mouth and I just don't buy him.
Well, dude, I don't blame you. Why should you buy him? No one buys him, dude. I don't.
Right.
I mean, he looks like a big, scary dude. But what reason should we buy this guy? They give you no reason to actually.
But even if they pushed him like to the moon and gave him a Goldberg run and everything, I still wouldn't buy him just because he seems like a really nice guy is what it seems.
That's
like.
true. And I hear he is actually a nice guy.
He probably is, and it's fine. Some people can be nice guys and pull off this like killer persona, but I don't know. It's just to me, it's not 100% working. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. But I want to like him a lot. It's just that one ingredient still missing to make it like, a tasty stew or whatever.
He has no connection with the fans at all, and doesn't even attempt to even have a connection. Like tries to have a connection. I mean, he's never really had that opportunity to even connect with the fan base. Could it be that he's just, disheartened and he's just over this shit, this stopping bullshit?
I don't know, but even if that's the case, you can't do that. Every day, right. Every moment, that's your moment. You got to be in that moment 100%. You can't be thinking like how you're sad about how your career's gone when you have to do this pre-tape. You got to nail the pre-tape, No, and if you don't nail it, and they're just taking the footage and putting it out like that, then that's on them too. Like you gotta tell them like, I don't think you nailed it. So I don't know if the people have Hobbs's best interest, because we know he's a punk guy. So why should they treat him any other way than fuck you? Look at every punk guy and look at where they're at on the card.
It's true.
There's your answer.
They're all suffering for real. You're right, man.
So whatever it is, but that has nothing to do with what I thought his promo was. It is what it is. All right. So next is, Harley Cameron versus Mariah May in a hot girl graps match.
I hate that, bro. Graps.
The fuck? You don't like that British slang, Jimmy?
Dude, I thought it was Tony Khan that came up with that. Nah, sorry, dude.
In it?
No, I wouldn't even say graps. Who the fuck says graps, bro?
English people.
You don't know graps? You don't know what graps is, man? What's graps, dude? You don't know what graps is, dude? This is so dumb, bro. It just dumbs pro wrestling even more down, if you know what I mean. Like, fuck this, man. AEW is a meme at this point. Like, exactly. Bite your thumb, vet. as Labras says. I mean, God, man. I might as well bite my tongue so I don't have to talk about this shit anymore.
All right. Well, Mariah May wins, surprising no one with the May Day.
She did? Oh,
Yep.
Mayday.
And the announcers were putting it over like this is the match of Harley Cameron's life or whatever.
Sure.
Maybe, but I mean, again, that's been my whole problem is you have the goofy comedy act taking people to the limit all the time.
It's bizarre, bro. When you first started pointing that out and then I paid attention more, it's so true, dude. That's what I mean. Like, they must like her, man. Because why do they make her look strong with their losses? Like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, but whatever.
No, I would. Well, I mean, for somebody like that, who was brought in as just like a weirdo off on the side and not wrestling at first,
No.
I would have. I mean, my whole story for that would have just been for her to be like begging to get in the ring, and people are telling her no, and then finally somebody letting her do it. Like she could have comedy skits showing how she's been training and preparing and everything for this. And then you could
like a Rocky storyline.
Yeah, but like a jokey version where she's doing ridiculous training that wouldn't help you do anything. And then finally somebody's like, you know, okay, we'll give you this one match and it'll be against somebody like they'll bring in Shazza McKenzie again. And then
yuck.
you know, somebody like that where everybody's like, okay, I guess Harley Cameron's going to get a win. And then Shazza just destroys her in like 30 seconds. Oh. And then they turn that into comedy. And then I think you're concentrating too much on the Shazza McKenzie part. It could be anybody, but my point is you bring in somebody that you would expect to lose and they beat her. And Harley Cameron's whole story should be like how they're trying to convince her she's not cut out to wrestle and she keeps trying and getting killed. But all the comedy stuff is still there. So you're getting the value out of her.
Right.
But then we don't have to sit there for like 10 to 15 minutes watching her try to wrestle, which is very painful.
She clearly wasn't a wrestler when she was hired, man, I feel. But you're probably right. She's probably very eager and probably is very willing to try to learn. Hence why they probably, put her on television a lot, man. Because she probably is one of those people that actually is eager to learn things. Then again, she is married to another dumbass wrestler from Australia. He's Samoan though. But what's his name? Fuck. The Australian Samoan dude that got fired from NXT, dude.
Zion Quinn? Oh no. They're separated, Jimmy. How come this wasn't a news article? Well, this should have been a news item. Didn't you know? They're separated right now?
Nah.
All right. Well,
no. When did that happen?
I don't know. I just saw it floating around somewhere. Rumors. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
But
they're a good-looking couple, dude. But unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Christopher Daniels responds to Hangman's thing. Yeah, but Hangman's thing was like kind of live. Like it looked like they were shooting it live, even though it probably wasn't, but it looked like it was. But Christopher Daniels had like a vignette sort of style of his promo. Like you want to say, what have I done in this business? Well, I did all these things in this business. And then he lists off the things he did. And
it was almost a big reveal. It was me, Austin.
Yeah, it was me who did all these things in this business. And he's like, maybe I'm going to add kicking your ass to my list of accomplishments. All right. Sure you will. Texas Deathmatch. All right. Brody King with Dark Julia
and the dogs
versus Trevor Blackwell.
Who?
I don't know, somebody that should have beat Harley Cameron in that angle I was talking about earlier, but anyway, yeah.
Is this the new House of Black? Is this the new leader? Like,
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. He's going to beat whoever this guy is real quick. And then he'll be backstage, kind of breathing heavy. And then Lexi Nair is going to interview him. And then Copeland's going to come in and be like, hey, I'm a big fan of you guys. You remind me a lot of my old group, the Judgment Day. And so if you want to come in and like I think that
Is that a rib?
Alistair Black, I mean Malachi Black is gone because nobody can remember. Everybody calls everybody their WWE names, right? When you're
Yeah.
doing this. So he's like, Alistair, I mean Malachi, he's doing his own things, and maybe it's time for you to take the reins and run, which is not a phrase. I don't think take the reins and run is a phrase.
Take the reins of what?
The horse you're riding?
Yeah. Or is it the dog they're riding? Oof.
Yeah, is this I did a rod? Like,
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Was it Buddy's Buddy?
Yeah, maybe.
Could they be the House of Buddy now? Or is it the House of Cope? Because they have all this hope for Cope.
Well, I mean, let's think about it for a second. So we had in the first in Dynamite, we had Will Ospreay say, "Hey, I'll be in your corner, buddy Murphy. I mean Matthews.
I'll be your Huckleberry."
Yeah. And then here we have Edge saying, "Hey, I'll be in your corner, guy with dark girl."
Oh, so I get it now. So what we're going to have is Ledge versus what's the other one? Osprey in a Buddy and a Brody on a pole match, and the winner gets them. Is that what we're going to get?
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
black on pole match.
Oh,
the House of Poles. I have no idea. Could we be going there?
Yes, we could. It wouldn't be any less ridiculous than.
I mean,
anything else? Oh, wait.
AEW narrative.
Well, it couldn't be any less ridiculous than this. Next is Katsuyori Shibata versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship.
God.
Guess how this one ended, guys?
I can't believe it, bro.
Guess how the wrestler, the guy whose nickname is the Wrestler, guess how he met his ignominious end in this match?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Mr. Daniel Garcia's son, he got the win, man.
He hit the jackknife, but not the cool one that you remember from Kevin Nash.
Of course not. A little guy putting Shibata in a freaking. Oh, come on, dude. Talk about psychology. I mean,
forget psychology. How about the visual of
Shibata's
shoulders are clearly easily able to be moved off of the mat at any point.
Oh no, didn't you see?
And so is everybody else's that Garcia's pinned with this move, by the way, as none of their shoulders have been down. But we keep going with this.
Oh man, this sucks, dude. Like Labrat says, main event Danny Garcia, bro.
Well, luckily it wasn't the main event.
I know, thank God. But still, man, people like the guy, man. I don't know why, but they friggin' do, man. Is he really an underdog? No, he's not. He's not booked like one.
No. Also, yeah, he's definitely an overdog. And also,
overdog. Right.
I feel like Shibata, if anything, the crowd was more behind him in this match.
Yeah, but who cares? Because Danny Garcia must be TK's boy, little bitch boy or something, bro. Because, I mean, he loves this guy, pushes him to the moon. He got a win over Shibata, which is so unrealistic, dude. It's just, I just can't, man. I can't. It makes me hate this shit, dude. And I don't want to hate it. You know what I mean? Hate is a strong word, but when you do shit like this that don't make sense or is not even realistic, how am I supposed to, like, you're insulting my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? By doing this shit. And here they are taking a piss all over us once again. The only Danny Garcia I want to see kick freaking ass is The Rock's ex-wife. That's a Danny Garcia, bro. That's a bad bitch. Legit.
Yeah, if she jackknifes you, your shoulders are going down.
You're fucked. Like, and I truly mean that. If you guys haven't seen what she looks like, just Google her. She's a machine. Way bigger than this imposter.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to prolong this. Let's move on. You will be happy to know, Jimmy, I got good news and bad news. I'm going to give you the good news first.
Oh, woo.
It's the main event of Collision, and it's a singles match.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
The bad news, however, is that it's a fat old guy and a fat even older guy.
Yeah. I hated this shit, bro. Again.
Everyone is banned. Everyone is banned from ringside for this, so this is already like a preview of next year's Continental Classic. Is there anything that anybody you guys please put your thoughts on this match in the chat? I will read all of it because I don't want to talk about this at all.
Neither do I. Can we
it's Jericho versus, well, I wrote it down as just it turns out if you abbreviate Hollywood the Axon, it spells Hater.
Hater. That's a good one. I like it, man. Fuck this match. Fuck these two guys. Just what? But why is this even happening? Really?
Because
this
because anyway. AEW Jimmy.
Right, but if you noticed,
Todd had to leave or what, but I'll say it for him.
He did. He actually did. Okay. No, I'm not jealous, by the way, Zane. Just quietly. But I just want to point out, this show as a whole had no talk about you brought this up before. This show felt like the reset again for AEW. All these matches, practically, there was no storyline reason for most of this shit to happen, man. It was just all thrown.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this. Let's go backwards from this. I mean, the Learning Tree is feuding with the Copes. So that does make sense. We were
finished though, weren't we? Technically,
no. It will never be over.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shibata versus Garcia. I don't know where that came from.
Weren't they friends at one point? Weren't they together?
Well, it was a friendly match. I mean, after Shibata lost, he raised his hand and hugged him, and all that stuff. It shook his hand and stuff. So, Harley versus Mariah, we had built to that a little bit, even though all it was Harley just sneaking into her promo and booking herself. But hey, at least it was a follow up. Pag versus Commander, no reason.
Nope.
Let's see, and then Cope versus Redwood was part of this same thing that the main event is part of. So they just split up into two singles matches. Look, just count yourself lucky it wasn't another 6-man. But anyways,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess. I mean, whatever. It's your typical Collision. Eventually Chris Jericho does hit the Judas and wins clean. And then here comes the Learning Tree, and they're going to start kicking the shit out of the Axon, and then the Copers run out, and then the Riders ride out, and then the Outrunners run out, and then Mox takes out Cope from behind, and that sounds like a certain way, and then Hobbs comes out, and he basically single-handedly destroys the entire Death Riders, and Mox runs away. So if Hobbs was able to do this the whole time, then thank God he's back, because I guess the Death Riders should never get over on anybody again. Hobbs will just run out and beat all 5 of them by himself.
Why not?
We've proven it now. Now we've seen that he can just do it. Even though they had the high ground, the advantage, they had everything. And Hobbs came out and fucked all of them up, and Mox ran away like a bitch. So why should the Death Riders ever get any heat again? Just send out Hobbs and it'll all be done.
It'll all be done from all angles, literally. And speaking of done, that leaves us to next week. I'm pretty sure Hobbs will be done. And yeah, Grass, Hobbs, I've always said this. Hobbs always reminded me of Ice Train. Remember Ice Train back in WCW? Do you remember him? Used to come out with the
Fire and Ice. Like somehow he and Scott Norton were not an undefeated championship tag team.
I know. What a bad freaking. I mean, they should have been way over But Fire and Ice, remember that shit?
Yes.
That you're taking me way back now. But I used to like Ice Train with Teddy Long as his manager back in the day.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, as promised, Tennessee Couponer says this match is in the mud. Bruce says a masterpiece of a main event live on Max.
Oh yeah, I would have rather Chris Masters. Speaking of masterpiece, than this.
Oh, yeah.
No, actually,
I'd rather a bottle of KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce. I'll just drink it.
Oh shit! I don't know if I'll go that far, but hey, I love barbecue sauce. Just quietly,
rather than watch Jericho and Axe.
Actually, I'll take that back. I would drink that shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah. I would shotgun. I would shotgun some KC Masterpiece rather than.
Heck, where's JR's barbecue sauce, man?
Business is about to pick up, except for this main event, because damn it. Yeah, this is
Jesus. This sucked. This show was pathetic, bro. Compared to Dynamite, like Dynamite was head and shoulders, and I'm not talking about the shampoo, way above Collision. This was truly a wreckage, like completely. No reason half the shit was real.
Dynamite, I don't know, man. That good to me. So that says a lot about
Collision.
On a minute. I mean,
when I say Dynamite was decent, it doesn't mean it was good. It meant like I could view it, like it was watchable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, because look, here's the deal. Like ultimately, the story of AEW is a lot of times you're kind of interested in watching it. It's you just get constantly disappointed the whole time,
right?
But every time you're like, oh, but maybe this week they won't disappoint me. You know, like that's the attitude I have. I'm like, I'm hopeful every time. I'm like, okay, you guys have a chance, and you blew it. Oh, well, on to the next thing. And can't grieve forever. Let's just, you know, I totally enjoy like trying to watch AEW.
Do you really?
Yes, I enjoy trying. But it's the actuality that's the problem. Like I'm always let down, not because I really thought they were going to do it, but it's just like they got so many unique pieces in their puzzle that like could be good at any moment. So there's always potential, right? Contrast that with say like TNA, which I also cover. So TNA is the same boring shit every time. It's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't either. Do it straight up. Seriously,
I don't either.
Man.
But it's so bad and it's always a chore. AEW is usually only a chore because of certain time constraints. Like if I'm in a rush to have to watch it or whatever. And then they'll put on long, boring segments sometimes. Stuff that I'm not interested in. But, you know, in general, doesn't feel that bad. It's just always disappointing. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's basically where I'm at with it.
As a matter of fact, but I will say this before we go. After watching WWE, Raw on Netflix and then going to AEW, boy, the presentation sucks in AEW now. It looks like Bush League, for real, compared to WWE at this present time. It's head and shoulders just... And they're that far apart, dude.
Because they got a guy that came from WWE.
Right,
so
that's true.
He's trying to make it like WWE, but he only knows what he knew when he was working there. He doesn't have the whole machine behind him. So that's why he's just doing what he thinks is what's supposed to be done, and that's why we get things that are like similar to WWE in a way.
But not quite.
Yeah, just not quite there. It's like off-brand a little bit. I'm not saying it's better or worse than what they were doing because, as we discussed, their ultimate problem is they've been hot-shotting for 5 years. So this is what you get. This is the result. This is the result of hot-shotting for 5 years.
5 years, dude. Wow. I mean, are we ever going to get AEW, like, in a positive sense, like, long-term, eventually? Do you think? I have no faith in this company, dude, anymore.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think it's likely.
Oh, it's sad. What a sad day. Well, in saying that, to end this depressing collision, I think we should take it home, Bet. We've done
Yeah,
the
let's take it
usual,
home.
just under 2 hours dealio. So
Yeah,
in saying that-
we're not speedy lately.
No, we had a lot to talk about, though, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just disappointed in our speed champ. It's like we lost Rampage and somehow gained time.
True. It was the WWE start. They were talking about Raw and stuff.
Yeah.
But don't worry, next week we'll Speedy Gonzalez this one for sure. We should have sped through Collision more quicker, that's for sure. But in saying that, man, tell them what you're doing and what you're up to, man.
Yeah, add Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. On HMG for the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern with Big Ray Hernandez. We talk about NXT, which did a record rating recently, like almost cracking 1 million people for, to see Julia win the belt and Obafemi win the belt. So
That's
also
crazy,
The Rock was
dude.
there
That's
doing
great.
Rock things, and he was the main event actually. But then you could also check me every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Impact Attack, like where I said I discussed TNA with Brandon, my tag team partner. So if you'd like to join us live, that's the time and place to do that. If you want to hear about TNA, and guys, even if you don't care about TNA, I strongly recommend that you watch us anyway, because we will try to make it interesting for you. Just in general with the talk. So don't worry if you don't follow TNA or don't care about TNA. Just join us for the show and make up your mind after that. As far as everybody else goes, you could check out Wrestling with Rib Rogers every Friday at their concrete time of noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, where you can ask Rib Rogers a question and he just might answer it. And you can also check out the Stevie Richards Show every Friday when their content drops. He and James, he's got he was talking all about the Raw from Netflix this week, so get to hear his thoughts on that even more, like in depth than he can get on the Raw SmackDown review with Russo and Ben Hameen. He's actually getting even deeper into the Raw and getting to explain a lot more here. So if you're interested in, if you just can't hear enough about people's opinions on Raw and Netflix, I highly suggest this episode in particular. And that's going to do it for me, Jimmy.
That's it? No more?
Yeah.
What game are you playing, by the way?
I don't know. Just some game, whatever. Like,
by the way,
Opinion Haver everywhere covers everything. If you're interested,
That's
you're
true.
interested. I haven't got one extra person from telling you what I've been doing. So if you Ad Opinion Haver works everywhere.
Nice. Did you check out Bin? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He cut it
been a
off,
while.
man.
It's been a while. I remember when it was a 5 o'clock shadow, bro. That's how long me and Ben go back.
I've seen photos. I've never seen him like that, like obviously while doing shows. But that's crazy. He looks so different, man. But if you want to follow me, you can on the Twitter. I'm still fighting this shit. I've been texting him, abusing him. They're investigating again. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. But yeah, at DJ Mass Effects, also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5 only to get the best, but the realest talk in all of pro wrestling. Also, subscribe right here at Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel. We're still edging closer to that 1,000 mark. We're at 940 something. Please get us over the line. Share that shit, like it, and just tell everybody where the coolest wrestling podcasts are at, which is right here at Hameen Media Group, and of course, Channel Attitude. But look out for the new and improved Smack Attack, which will be airing today, today at 3:30 p.m.
Improved, eh?
Eastern. Yeah, I mean, look.
Take that, John Enright.
Look, man, it's only fair. It's only fair, and I said this to him, that, new era means new everything, right? For the Smack Attack, that old logo, that's his era. This is my era of the Smack Attack, so hence why the new logo. And I mean, come on, we're gonna.
And
go
you're
with
on the
new
USA
logo.
Network now, right? For 3 hours.
Well, man, not well. It is me and Jeff, so it could be 3 hours of the Smack Attack. But then again, John was the 3-hour master of that, though. But yeah, so check that out. Also, Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, it's I Like a Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez. So look out for that, where we talk all things Monday Night Raw. And of course, the Wreckage with myself and the Vet every
Did you
Sunday
know,
morning.
Jimmy? Did you know that Raw is on Netflix now?
It
I had
is?
no idea until I watched it on Netflix and heard The Rock tell me it was on Netflix and John Cena tell me it was on Netflix and Hulk Hogan tell me it was on Netflix and everybody from Netflix was in the audience, and there was Netflix on the actual ring mat and everything like that. But did you know it was on Netflix though?
No, I thought. See, I was watching Netflix, and then they were telling me they were on Netflix. But why are they telling me while I'm watching Netflix? I have no idea. But it is apparently on Netflix Monday nights, 8 p.m.
Well, now you guys all know, just in case you guys didn't know or hear. And nobody can agree on how many people watched it either. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring that up. 4.9 million apparently, which is a bad number in my opinion.
There's no way it was that. There's no way it was that low. No way.
I agree with you. It should be, like I said, at least minimum 10 mil and above. And I said that on Like a Raw. If it's anything below that, that's sad. And just quietly, it was the number one viewed show on Netflix. If that was the case, and I did see that, then it should be in the tens of millions by a long shot. But will we get the truth? I have no idea, man. This is Netflix. Things work a little differently. But anyway, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is my co-host, the Vet Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage Chicago, the Bulls. Jimmy's a Bulls fan, yeah.
The Bulls.
Bulls. Sausage. Jordan.
Sausage. Yeah, I got a Jordan poster right there. But anyway, we're out. Thank you all for joining us. Come right back here at 3:30 p.m. Eastern for the Smack Attack. And we're out. Peace, peace, peace. Laters.